Hello and welcome to another devlog for Age of the Imagined. So, this time I have something actually to show you guys. I have been reworking the style that I want the sprites to appear in, and I've created some new overworld sprites for Roxanne that will replace the ones that I showed off in the October devlog, I think it was. God, I'm having a hard time remembering. Anyway, I have new overworld sprites. These are still a bit of a work in progress, so they may change slightly in the demo release. Not sure just yet, but this is something I would like to lean more towards in this direction rather than the old style of sprites. So that's good. I have a set art direction now, which is very, very good, because for a while there I wasn't sure how I wanted the style to look, and I was very unconfident about it. But now I have a better idea of where to take things. Also, I have a title screen to show. This is the logo that will appear like splash text, whatever the correct terminology is. This is what it'll look like for right now. Obviously, this could change too. Very work in progress, yada yada, blah blah blah, whatever. An idea that I had for the title screen is to obviously there's flair on the sides that are particularly for Roxanne, like those symbols match up with her style and the hammer and whatnot. So that's all good. And that makes sense for her. But for other chapters, I had the idea to make unique character title screens depending on which character is centric to the chapter. So that is an idea that I had that I really enjoyed. So I will need to make multiple variations of the title screen when that eventually comes around. But that's not until way later down the line. So this is what the title screen will look like for the demo and for the time being. Again, that could change. Something a bit more exciting is a tentative battle mockup, like a battle UI mockup for what I think the like action select menu will look like. The working idea right now is that you'd have the action commands fan out in front of the current character's turn, and then you'd move the cursor to select an action, and then you select an enemy to hit. I don't know if I like that idea as much as just having the action icons in a singular line above the character's head, or something completely different. But as of right now, this is the main idea I have. It could be completely different, but I figure I'd show this off, because I did like the idea. So it may change slightly, but this is what I'm gonna be going with for the time being. That could change in a month, though. Now let's talk about the script, because unfortunately, I know I said last time that I would get like have a large focus on plot and writing, but unfortunately, writing is something that I am surprised to find myself struggling with. Things like world building is something that I thought would come naturally to me, but it has been difficult to make the world convincing and write it in a way that people would find believable and engaging, and coming up with these ideas in a way that feels organic and not just shoehorning in some big bad that swoops in for no reason and then sets Roxanne and Oliver off on their journey. So, that has been a hurdle that I wasn't expecting I would need to get over. And for that reason, I would estimate that only 5% of the prologue's script has been written so far. There's a lot of stuff that I need to change. There are some ideas that I have to completely rework and throw out because they just don't work with my new vision for the story. And unfortunately, it has just not really turned out the way that I thought it would be. So I'm going to have to rework some things with the plot. And I need to figure out how to introduce the world to the player. Because I don't want to just basically info dump within the first, like, opening section of the game. Because then that just, like, people don't want to sit through, like, a history lesson when they're here to play a video game. So that has been something I've been kind of sweating over, because I'm like, oh god, how do I tell people about my world without telling people about my world? It's been a bit of a challenge, but a fun one. I've got some good ideas, and there have been some interesting things that I'm working with. So I will do what I can to get past this challenge, let's say, and move forward with the script writing process. Another intimidating part of the development has been learning Game Maker. And I know I've probably said this every single time I talk about this, but man, learning a new coding language is so difficult. There's so much that you have to know that I have very little experience with. I it's so complicated, and I feel like my brain is doing kickflips every time I try to learn about this stuff because it's so challenging and it's so difficult to figure out the basics and how to just how to make a menu screen and make like a dialogue box and have the character be in the place on the screen when you want it to be and when you don't, and have transitions from overworld to the battle screen, and figure out how to set an enemy's AI so it knows when to attack and when to not, and how to deal damage. It's so much stuff, and it's a bit overwhelming, so I've been very intimidated to work on it. But rest assured, I will do my best. I will do what I can to get over this, because early days learning a new programming language is the hardest part, so I'm told. So it's only up from here, which is good. Hopefully the more I do it and the more I practice, I may make a single, like, small project for something just to learn the basics. I don't know. I have no idea what that will be. Just as like a practice thing, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Hopefully, this coding process won't be too difficult, and I can sort of cheat my way with if-else statements. But I don't know. I will do my best to learn the language and make sure that the game runs well. I've also heard that Game Maker is now not on a subscription basis. Like, their payment plan isn't subscription based, which is fantastic. I'm just gonna have to scrape up some money to pay for the license so that I can get a few more tools. I don't actually know how much it is. I haven't looked into it just yet. I should do that. Oops, I didn't look into it before recording this, unfortunately. Whoops, my bad. But yeah, no, I've been learning a lot about Game Maker, and it's slowly, very slowly becoming a little less intimidating. But I don't know, I just get super anxious when I think about having to teach myself something new like this, especially with music, which brings me to my next point. There is... Currently, right now, I have, I think, 2 or 3 music tracks that are in the conceptual stage, and that's it. Music is something else that's very intimidating to me. But I know a couple people that I could probably get some help with, like feedback and things like that from, so it should be all good with that. I'll just have to... It's like the other aspects of development that I'm less confident on. I just gotta practice it. And that's all a long-winded way of saying that I am slowly but surely getting better at each of the individual aspects of game development, because there's a lot that goes into this stuff, and quite frankly, there's just so much going on in my, like, actual real life that has been taking precedent over this project. So unfortunately, I haven't had the most time to dedicate to it, but I am doing my best to, you know, overcome burnout and overcome anxiety and all that stuff and get this done. Because, good lord, if I have to spend another minute with these ideas rambling around in my head and not, like, actually on a digital workspace, I'm gonna freak out. I'm gonna lose my mind. Anyway, back to the devlog, because I need to stop rambling. I have a good idea of what the battle system would look like, but it could change dramatically. I've been doing a little bit of research, and by that I mean I've just been playing old video games. I've been doing some research into RPGs, what I like about them, what works about them, and what doesn't, and what I don't. So I've been doing some research on that, and I've been learning more about what works for a game and what works for an RPG and what doesn't. So I have a better idea of what the battle system is going to look like, but there's still some conceptual mumbo-jumbo that I need to iron out before I fully start towards developing it. Like, how does the speed system work? How does the turn order work? Is it there's so much that I could talk about it, but this devlog's already getting a little too long anyway. So that means all that is to say, I do not have a set date for a demo release yet, and I most likely will not have one for a while, which is unfortunate because I would like to work on this more, but there's some things that have been taking precedent in my real life, and I just haven't been able to yet. And that looks like that's the end of my notes. I will be doing my best to overcome some personal blocks that I've been set back by and get as much development done for this as I possibly can. I hope that you guys have liked what I've shown off in this devlog. Subscribe for more updates about my RPG, and click the link in the description to join my Discord, where I have a whole chat dedicated to conversations about the RPG. And yeah, see you guys next month.